on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Today we're celebrating a number of things. The first of which is the fact that I hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I want to say thank you to everybody that watches the videos, that likes the videos, that comments on the videos, and everybody that's subscribed. You guys have helped make this very successful, beyond what I thought it could be. So thank you. The second thing we're celebrating is my favorite albums of 2015. I picked 10. I'm gonna break them down a little bit, talk about it, and getting right into it. I want to stress that I'm not putting these in any order. I'm just saying them, as I wrote them. It's not like 1 to 10, nothing like that. So first one is Don Tripp's Godspeed. If you watch, some of the videos, you know how much I praise Don Tripp. I feel like he evolved into an amazing artist this year, and with his debut album Godspeed, he delivered one of the year's most, introspective albums. He was very deep, and honest and open. My favorite record on that was Losing Streak, but there's so many, different records on there. My second favorite album is G-Eazy's When It's Dark Out. I think for the same reason I like Don Tripp's album is because G-Eazy got pretty introspective as well. It was a lot darker than his debut album, and it just felt like he, was dealing with the effects of fame, struggling with it, and it translated into a great body of work, and that's why I really liked When It's Dark Out. Third, I like Pusha T's Darkest Before Dawn. Probably some of the year's best rapping. He's one of the most polished, sharpest MCs in the game, and he has records like Untouchable. He has records like Keep Dealing with Beanie Siegel. And all these guests that are on the album, they're just there to enhance because they're not needed. They're not necessary. Some artists, they are necessary. When they do guest features, it's necessary because, their music itself isn't as good to stand up alone. Pusha T is not that artist. So anybody that he has on this album, from Kehlani to Beanie Siegel to Ab Liva, even though that beat in particular is bad, all these guests are there to enhance, and Pusha T just put out one of the year's, best albums, and it's an appetizer to, his next album, King Push. So Darkest Before Dawn was one of them. Black Bear, Dead Roses. I saw Black Bear in concert for the first time. I think it was March or April. He was on tour with Mod Sun, and he's the only artist that I've ever seen live and then went to iTunes to buy his album. I didn't go and Spotify or YouTube it. I went to iTunes when I got home the next morning and bought the album Dead Roses, and it was one of the best purchases I made this year. The album sat with me a lot. I feel like he has a very unique sound, and he went for quality over quantity. It's only 10 songs, and not many guests. G-Eazy is on it. Besides that, there's not a whole lot. It's Black Bear. It's a great introduction album. If you've never heard of Black Bear, I highly recommend it. Number 5, we're gonna go with The Game, the documentary 2.5. I'm seeing a lot of people put the documentary 2 on their list, and I don't know. Like I said before, I couldn't get down with that album as much as 2.5. 2.5 is everything that I wanted out of an album that's going to be a sequel to one of the greatest West Coast albums, the documentary. And for that purpose, I felt like 2 just lacked. It had some moments, but overall 2.5 is a lot better. The guest features, are much stronger. Gang Bang Anyway with J-Rock and Schoolboy Q, Anderson .Paak on a couple records. The record with Nas, The Ghetto. He has Lil Wayne on From Adam. All these guest features, they not only make sense, but they also excel. Nas has 2 verses on The Ghetto, and they're both hot. Lil Wayne has one of his, most memorable performances of the year on From Adam. So I feel like the album, it just had more depth to it compared to, the documentary 2, which is more, flashy, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. fully, but I can say that the documentary 2.5 is the one that caught my attention the most. Number 6, I'm gonna go with The Weeknd, Beauty Behind the Madness. I'm going with The Weeknd because I love the underlining concept of the album. You know, it's basically The Weeknd, his career, chasing fame, finally getting fame, and then by the end of the album on Angel, he's kind of giving up fame, in a sense, I guess. Um, but I like that concept because if you just listen to the music on the surface level, you're just gonna hear like some good music, an album like that. But if you really break it down, connect all the dots, you can tell that it's about his career, his fame, and he did you can look at the videos and see that the videos connected as well. So that kind of gave me a bit of the album. You piece that together and then you listen to the music and piece the rest of it that doesn't have videos together, and you kind of see that it's about his career. And like I said, on Angel, he kind of talks about how he's kind of, I don't know, he's like walking away from fame, I guess. Maybe because he did what his label wanted him to do, but he blew up to a point to where he doesn't have to do that again. I think the whole point of The Weeknd doing this album was to blow up huge and then be in that level where Kanye and like Drake and a few others, where they can put together whatever they want and put it out because it's gonna sell, because The Weeknd did so well on this album that his fans are gonna support him, so he doesn't have to sit here and chase the mainstream anymore. That's what I got out of the album. Number 7, I'm going with Wale, the album About Nothing. As far as concept albums go, that was a very strong one. Having Jerry Seinfeld, do some ad-libs, narration was really good. And it has one of my favorite hooks of the year on the Matrimony with Usher. And I just like the fact that, an artist like Wale can make an album that kind of, fits into like a TV series. Seinfeld is one of the greatest shows of all time, one of the funniest. And you don't see a lot of artists be able to do something like this. Like, there's no artist that's done something where they linked up with like a Jerry Seinfeld type and then created an album together. This is something that Wale's been working towards for years. He's always showed his affection for Seinfeld. And to finally be able to do this album was incredible, and it turned out great. Number 8, I'm going with Charlie Wilson, Forever Charlie. Now, it dropped in January, I think 27th of last year, so I'm pretty sure it flew under the radars automatically, and B, a lot of people don't remember it, the ones that did listen to it, but I love the album. It's one of those feel-good albums. Charlie makes that music that you want to dance to, that you want to fall in love to, that you want to make love to, all these different feelings of, joy and happiness, and that's what Charlie Wilson embodied with this album. My only complaint was that I was hoping this would be the album where Kanye was executive producing, but it's not. Hopefully that's still coming. But Forever Charlie is one of those, magical albums that you just have to listen to. Number 9, I'm going with Mac Miller, Good AM. I was nervous because, Mac is in a different place with his career. So I wasn't sure what to expect. With watching movies with the sound off, you got the darkness. And I grew accustomed to the darkness of, the content and the production. This album takes a very different approach. It's like, watching movies with the sound off is when you're, on the drugs. And Good AM is coming off of them. But some people, when they come down, they just don't have like the good music, something like that. And I feel like Mac Miller achieved that. He had one of the year's most memorable Chief Keef verses because he didn't sound like he was trying to, what's the word? He said his whole verse, like you can understand it from start to finish, every word. When you listen to it, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But it was a strong album. It was a great follow-up to watching movies with the sound off. And so that's why it's in my top 10. And number 10, last but not least, Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. Obviously, you knew this was coming. It's been in everybody's top 10. And I don't know, what more can I say about the album that the rest of the world hasn't said? It's phenomenal. I think of the album as like one of my favorite movies. You know, in the sense that I don't watch my favorite movies every day, but anytime that I do watch it, I'm always impressed. I'm always, enjoying it. And that's how I look at, To Pimp a Butterfly. It's not an album that you listen to every day. It's not an album that you listen to, every other day or even, once a week. It's one of those albums that you just break out, you appreciate it, and it sounds good. And that's why it's on the list. The messages in it are amazing. It's relatable. I can go on and on about it, but you know, by now you're either a fan of Pimp Butterfly or you're not. So those are my favorite 10 albums of the year. I would love to know what your favorite albums of the year were down in the comment section below. You don't have to do 10. You can just talk about, a couple. Let me know what you think in the comment section of my choices, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain. As always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys forever and ever. Thank you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers, and until next time, peace.